morning, YouTube family. Welcome back to another video. Yesterday you saw that we went to get the rest of the supplies we needed to finish our stable, which was a very exciting day. But this morning's not as exciting because we now have to unload all of it. We got a couple of hours of sleep. You can see I'm still pretty sleepy this morning. But we're gonna get this entire trailer offloaded. That's almost 80 pieces of plywood, 36 bundles of shingles, and a bunch of other supplies. And we need to get it off because we need to go use the trailer for the second day. We rented it for 2 days this time, which is an extra day than we usually rent it for. Usually we just go get our hay. So because we already had it, we thought we might as well keep it for a second day and go get our hay so that we have the hay we need for the rest of the month, so that while we're busy working on the barn, we don't have to take a day off to go get hay. So that's what we're doing today. We need to offload this because we have another big road trip to go on today to go pick up 3 big round bales of hay, which lasts us about 3 weeks time. And so we gotta do this right now. It would be so much easier if you were all just here and each of you just moved one item and we'd be done in like 2 seconds flat. Because we already have a pile of items that are being used for the barn, we are going to kind of move this, condense this just a little bit here, and we're going to put the plywood there. And then, so Philip's going to move my truck up and around up here, and then the back end of the cargo trailer will be here, and we'll be able to unload everything easily right there. We don't want to have to offload this and carry it too far. Not only is there a lot of it, but it's super heavy. We also don't want it impeding on the space that we're going to need while we're building the barn, because all of this plywood is for the exterior walls and all the plywood that's thinner is for the roof. And then of course all the shingles and the other supplies are all for the roofing. So within a week, this barn is going to look very different. We're super excited about doing the roof on the barn because if you remember, for Christmas 2 years ago when we were just dreaming about the barn, Philip's mom and dad knew that we had gotten the plans and that we were officially going to be building our horse barn. And so they purchased an antique, it's a weather vane, and it is a horse, and it's absolutely amazing. It's like a copper brass color. It's so unbelievably beautiful. We've showed it to you a long time ago, but we're gonna get a refresher on it this week, I think, when we get our roof done. But we are dying to finish the barn because the ultimate end result of the barn is going to be us being able to hoist this up on top. We're going to be building a barn cupola, however you say that word, and we're going to make a very simple style one that we're going to DIY ourselves, and then we're going to be able to put this on top, and it's going to be so beautiful in the end, and we're just dying to hang it up to get it up there. So we're just discussing some different designs we looked at online on different styles of cupolas so that when we get to that point of building our own, we can put ours together. We're just gonna keep it simple, but it's going to be absolutely stunning when the horse gets on top. We have 36 bundles of shingles, which should be approximately 1,200 square feet. Each of our bundles is over 90 pounds, the man at Home Depot said. And then each bundle does 33.3 square feet. So we're looking at quite a lot of shingles that we're gonna need to get up onto this roof. And it's not a short roof, but it's not like super tall. Luckily, the pitch of it should be pretty manageable for us because we're gonna be doing the roof ourselves. Philip and I have done a roof before. We've done the mini barn roof. We did some family roofs before. So we've done roofing before. So that we have covered, but getting it up onto the roof with no machinery is going to be a pain in the neck. But we're gonna do it, and that's gonna be so exciting to get that done this week. So right now we're offloading everything. We just had to offload about a dozen of the shingles that were sitting on top of the plywood in the back of the trailer. So we tried to offset the weight by putting a little more than half the shingles in the bed of my truck, and then the other half, or another third of it, into the U-Haul trailer, because we were trying to make sure we were in our weight capacity for the trailer. So I think that was the smartest thing that probably got us home safely, was that we divided up some of the weight for the supplies that we were getting, because we had a lot of weight to bring home. So right now we're gonna offload all of the exterior walls. It's all the 1/2-inch OSB. And those of you who are asking in the comments, why are we using OSB? This is exactly what the engineered plans called for. So we are using absolutely to the final little spec in this plan that we purchased for the barn, that was approved by Nova Scotia Engineer, that was approved by the township, it was approved by everyone. You know the hoopla we went through to get everything finally approved. So we are not venturing off the path of the engineered plans in any way, shape, or form, even the smallest little detail. So it called for OSB. Ooh, the bugs. It called for OSB, so that's what we're using. So we're gonna offload all of our OSB for the exterior walls, and then we need to offload all the 7/16 OSB that we're using for the under part of the roof. Okay, and while I'm already with wet knees getting eaten by bugs, I wanted to address a question that you guys keep asking, or comment that you guys keep commenting in the comment section of every video when we either talk about Hudson and Lennon or the stable. Philip and I want to assure you that we have absolute full confidence in what we're doing with Hudson and Lennon. We know that it is going to be a change for Hudson and Lennon to have separate stalls. First off, they have always been together, absolutely. Hudson and Lennon are going to be able to get to each other if they want to. We are not going to block them and stop them. If they want to spend the first full week in their barn in one stall, they can do that if they want to. We're not going to block them, but we do think that they are going to appreciate having their own little private quarters, because currently right now when they're outside, Hudson goes and stands in Hudson's stall and he just chills on his own, and Lennon goes and chills in her stall. They picked the stalls. It was the same one we were planning on putting them in, so it works out perfectly. But they like and enjoy going and just spending time by themselves. And although they like to know where each other are on property, they're out 24/7 unless we tuck them in the mini barn at night, which we only do because they don't have the easy access to be able to have their shelter in their pasture here. So for the first little bit, we'll be leaving their stall doors open until they go in at night. And so wherever they so choose is where they get to be. But we will encourage them in increments of time to enjoy the comfort and relaxation of their own stall, because they will each have their own stall. And we did not make changes. Those of you who are saying, why did you not put the 2 stalls side by each and have like a window in between? Because we know that it's going to be good for them to have that separate space. And the plans for this barn that were approved are with the tack room in the middle. Hudson and Lennon are going to have apron doors. They're going to be able to see each other. They're going to know each other right there. They're very smart. They can sense each other's heartbeats within like a lot of distance. So they're going to know each other's right there, and everything's going to be just fine. We're going to always choose the best interests of Hudson and Lennon. So rest assured, we have everything under control.
time today will be between 2 and 4.
Just kidding. We just unloaded everything and did all of our farm chores, and we've left the boys home to tend to the rest of the farm. They're going to enjoy some time with the animals for the next couple of hours outside before the rain comes, and Philip and I are heading to go get our hay for the next month so that we don't have to do this haul weekly like we usually do. It means that we're going to be able to just focus on the barn over the next like 2 to 3 weeks and get this barn finished up. So we are on our way to our local farmer. We have a new hay supplier that we've been using the past couple of times, and we're absolutely loving the hay. He is an absolutely amazing old farmer, and we enjoy going and visiting with him. So we are on our way to go there now. Every time I walk by this barn, I think about all of the hard work that our family has put together and have done together to be able to make building this possible. If I think about when we bought this house a couple of years ago, how this land was completely abandoned, our home was completely abandoned. It was literally a house, it was not a home yet. And every single board and building and plant and everything that is on this land, our family did together with not only so much love, but so much determination that we were going to make our dream happen of fixing up this old abandoned house here that was just an old family from a captain, and this land that had just been left, and there was no life here. And think of how much life we have added to this small acreage. And it's just mind-blowing to me how much we've done in only a couple of years being here. And I can just look ahead and think to myself, when I look at photos of when we first moved in, what the land looked like, it was so empty here, and it was so lonely here. And it was literally just a blank canvas, and it was just waiting for us to come and put our mark on it. And although we have such big dreams for this property, I know that every single little project that we do brings us that much closer to what will always be evolving, but like our end goal, you know? And so I love it. Every single blade of grass and every single piece and corner of this land, we have put some type of a mark on, and I love it. So I hope that you're enjoying us kind of doing all of these projects. I know that you would love to see some of these projects done a lot faster, but that's just not real life. And I always promise to show you how things would truly be fixing up an old house and renovating this entire property to be our homestead. And I always want to make it be what it is. I'm not going to be able to show you transforming this entire thing in one video or even in 1 year, because that's just not real life. And it's not a real life family budget either. So if you are a family, just a real life family, you will understand how much hard work went into buying the materials and putting all the materials together and doing the work to build the actual structure that's there, let alone all the supplies that you just saw us load from Home Depot and paid for in cash. Didn't put it on our credit card. We were able to pay for it, which meant we had to save and work super hard to be able to have the money to do that. And then we're going to be able to work together this week to actually get all that onto the barn, which is so rewarding. Because we had the trailer for 2 days, we were super smart, I think super smart, and know that we can focus on just the barn over the next month. So we actually managed to get 4 round bales of hay loaded. We have 3 in this trailer here. one in the back of my truck. So now we're going to unload all of the hay that we got and get it into the garage before it starts storming. It is going to storm for sure. And if you remember from the other day, I showed you how empty our brook is. So we definitely need the rain, and so does our well. So I'll be so thankful for the rain, but after I get this in the garage. So I love you. I know that yesterday and today have been a bunch of driving for us. Like today we drove for almost 6 hours to be able to go and get hay. Yesterday we drove over 8.5 hours to go get all the supplies. So not as riveting for content, but for us, this is an absolutely gigantic milestone to have everything that we need here to finish our horse barn. So thank you for joining us for another video. And this week is going to be absolutely incredible. I know that you're waiting for updates on the goaties, and especially our new little goatee. I know that you're waiting for updates on those adorable little squealing piglets and all of our baby chicks and the other animals. I know you've missed them the past couple of days. Don't worry, I'll still make sure you get to see them this week. But we will be working on the horse barn. Tomorrow morning, we take this trailer back. We get the rest of the wood for the barn. So we'll be back early morning tomorrow with every single item we need here to finish this week. It's happening this week. So stay tuned. I love you, and we will see you tomorrow.